Welcome in to a DNVR Avalanche emergency pod. The Avs have made a trade, but not for a forward like we might have been expecting. No, the Avs go out and get Nick Blankenburg from the Nashville Predators for a 2027 fifth-round pick. Immediate reactions to this trade.
What? Two immediate thoughts. Nick Blankenburg is good. He's an actual solid depth defenseman, but the size is going to be a problem. It sort of feels like they went out and they got Sam Girard for 1/5 of the cost.
Yep.
There are important differences there. How they play the game is quite a bit different. Nick Blankenburg, more than his size and more than his puck moving ability, is more known for being extremely competitive and feisty on the back end. He is not an easy defenseman to play against.
Gavin Brindley, but a defenseman.
Yeah, he's not going to win a lot of puck
There's
battles.
a size component there. Yeah.
Right. But the difference between a Blankenburg and a Sam Girard is that Girard knew he wasn't going to win it. And so he was just I'm going to try and take your stick away. I'm not really going to engage a whole lot here. Nick Blankenburg is I'm going to try and climb that tree and chew your ears off. They got another small star here, but one who fits their play style really well versus going out and getting a Simon Benoit, for example, who does not in any way fit their play style, but is more of your archetypal seventh defenseman. Blankenburg is a guy that can do a little bit of everything for you, but for a fifth-round pick, and not just a fifth-round pick, but the Avs had 2 fifth-round picks in 2027. They had their own in San Jose's, and they gave their own in this deal, so they kept the higher of the 2 fifths. I would have given both of those fifths for Blankenburg. That would have been fine. In what we've seen in the market so far, this feels like one of the more underrated ones where you're just did Nashville hate this guy? Is there something we don't know about? Because he's given them really reliable third pairing minutes this year. He's a third pairing defender. We don't have to dream on this guy trying to be more than that. But fits how the Avalanche play the game very nicely. The only problem that you have is the 5'9". If Brent Burns or Josh Manson or Brett Kulak get hurt, you're kind of right back to where you were with Sam Girard, where you're ooh, we're a little on the small side. The major difference here is that Blankenburg is a competitive little fella and does everything he can to try and play like he's 6'3".
Mm-hmm. What I think is interesting too is he seems like a very versatile piece.
Yes.
On the back end too. So if comes the time where maybe he's filled that third pairing role in Nashville, if that second pairing role is needed on the Avs, that's a role he knows how to play and he knows how to play it well. I really appreciate that he's an all situation full gear ahead or full motors ahead kind of player too.
Yeah.
Played not only penalty kill, but you've got some power play minutes out of him too. So that's just another piece of personnel and just another member of the personnel that you can deploy in any situation.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting Blankenburg's current contract, $775K, no money. It is expiring UFA. So look, we can have a conversation of keeping him around in the offseason.
Yeah.
But for the price of a 5th round pick, no real issues if this is just a pure rental.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and frankly, they don't have to be done on defense.
You
Like,
could go get another guy, sure.
because the $775K is so cheap.
Yep.
The Avs have something like $9 million left in cap space right now if they wanted to. Now, obviously, it's a little deceiving with Logan O'Connor's $2.5 million on LTIR, and you have to plan for those things. But they could go out and get Simone Benoit if they wanted, like to just, okay, now we've got one of each. We've got a small star who can fit our style and come in depending on who gets hurt. Like, say Sam Malinsky gets hurt, Simone Benoit would be a terrible replacement.
Yep.
But if Sam Malinsky gets hurt, Nick Blankenburg is a very good replacement. If Josh Manson gets hurt, Simone Benoit is a very good replacement. And Nick Blankenburg, less so.
I don't know if you're ever going to catch me saying Simone Benoit is a good replacement, but
you know what I mean.
Stylistically, yeah.
The difference being that Blankenburg has produced really good results in a third pairing role, and Simone Benoit has produced horrific results.
Yeah.
And he is right-handed, but he is a right-handed defenseman that has played a lot of time on the left side in his career. So I'm less worried about the handedness, and I love Colorado's commitment to this bit. They have 5 right-handed defensemen and 2 lefties now. This is it's fun more than any, like, it's just like cool. The teams are like, oh, righties are in demand, and the Avs are like, gotcha.
For a 5th round pick, it just feels like it was too easy to say yes to for the Avs, right?
Yeah, I truly don't understand. They couldn't have gotten a 4th out of them. The Avs have 3 4th round picks this year, and they couldn't get any of that. Or 3, 2.
So a lot of the conversation around yesterday's game was the Avs catching breaks. This seems like a bit of a break caught for the Avs if that's the route we're gonna go.
Yeah, this is definitely the trade equivalent of Mason McTavish missing the empty net 4 minutes into the game, keeping it at 0-0. Totally.
Yeah. Can you bring up his stat card? We can start there. And the question I want to pose, because you're going to see these numbers look pretty darn good. Is Blankenburg a hard 7 in Colorado, or could they use him a little bit more?
There's no need to, because Colorado's top 6 is
real
so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's so set that Blankenburg is purely insurance here. And it's 775. He's so cheap. 775, 750. No, it's 775. All right.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to trip me up here. And I don't think that there's any need to mess with it. You know, like,
sure.
Who are you going to play him over? You're not going to play him over Brent Burns. You're not going to play him over Josh Manson. Like, if they get down the stretch and their seating is locked in, sure, play him. But otherwise, he's not going to slot into your lineup. Maybe you're comfortable going at 11-7. If you continue to have injuries on the wing, you can go 11-7 a little more comfortably with him. But otherwise, there's really, I don't think, any real need to get cute here. He should be your 7. He's a much, much, much better player than Jack Ashan is, and in the pretty much the same exact style. Just a much better overall version.
Yep. I think the ceiling is too high for some of the bottom 4 for there to be any sort of real kind of look, barring, the catastrophic injury or what have you. But when looking at a Sam Malinsky, like Brent Burns, the ceilings, the potential there is just a little too high for me to sit there and say, okay, Blankenburg's got the up on these guys at this point in the season.
Yeah, for sure. $2 super chat from Ryan saying, goodbye, Sam Girard. Welcome back, Sam Girard.
It's a good joke.
Yeah, I think it's just smart business for the most part from Bednar. If you want to dig a little bit more into who Blankenburg is, we can bring up his either of his microstats or his isolated stats. Either one. Yeah, we'll dive in.
Yeah. These are the microstats. I always tell people to take these with such a grain of salt because the samples are usually a lot smaller. As you can see, 5v5 time on ice is only 136 minutes that has been tracked. Blankenburg has played about 700 minutes of 5v5 time this year, so it's a fraction of how much time he's actually played.
Yeah,
but what you're seeing is he's good with the puck.
Mm-hmm.
He can participate in a rush offense. He's great on zone entries. He is good on retrievals. He gets back and picks up the puck off the wall and moves it out of the zone, and doesn't do it with a lot of failure. He's not going to carry it the way that we saw Sam Girard do. He's not going to move up the ice the same way. He's going to move it via pass, but he's good at it. And a lot of his zone entries lead to scoring chances.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. And I will say I went back 4 years on this data just to see if this was a one-off. The 4 years ago, horrific. Looked like a total bum. 3 years ago, same thing. Last year, passable. It got a lot better. And then again this year, a huge jump into being just a solid, reliable puck mover. He really shouldn't be on the power play. Luckily, we don't actually have to.
Yeah, he won't be in Colorado.
Yeah. With Devon Taves, Brent Burns, and Sam Malinsky all hanging around, there's all options that Brent Burns, that Jared Bednar is going to trust before he ever gets to Nick Blankenburg.
Yeah.
So that's not something that, don't even worry about it. But he has been a shockingly effective PK guy. But what does that tell you? He's competitive. It speaks to he competes. I know that there's a lot of people that are already mad, and if you're reading our chat right now, you'll see that about the fact that they got another 5'9" defenseman. I get it, but this is not your he's super soft. He's just gonna let it be. He is dog on a bone. He is not. Don't be fooled by the size. He plays bigger than he is, with the understanding that there is only so much a guy that's 5'9" could do.
Well, he's also, if things are going well, he's not even in your lineup. He's your seventh guy.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
That is, again, a very serviceable seventh guy.
Totally.
To have.
Yeah.
You can bring up his isolated impact here. This is a guy that you can put in the lineup, and his defensive side you don't love, but it's not a disaster, and he's a guy who can actively pitch in for you on the offensive side of the puck.
It is funny to see where is all the offense coming from in the defensive side, which is that bottom left quadrant. Yep. It's where Blankenburg is. That's his spot. I'm not gonna sit here and try and tell you he's a high-end defense, a high-end defender in his own zone. He's not. He's passable, but he competes, which is something that NHL teams are obsessed with.
Well, and this is a guy that the Avs will have the luxury as a 7 to deploy safely. A guy who's going to get sheltered, a guy who's going to play on a third line if he's in the lineup at all. And you're not going to be giving him too many tough minutes. You're not going to be looking at asking him to do a ton. He's the insurance, not the other way around. Yeah. So I just have no problems. This is, again, just good business from Chris McFarland and the Colorado Avalanche. And you gave up a 5th round pick.
Again, it's so cheap in both his contract and in trade asset, the draft pick, that there's nothing stopping them from going out and going, we're going to get an 8th guy.
Right.
If they wanted to get an 8th guy, you could completely understand where they're coming from. They could do that.
Yeah. No downsides. I really see no downsides here. Unless I guess if they go use that 5th round pick to pick the next Wayne Gretzky, then there was a downside. But even then.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to that team. Kudos if that pick stays in Nashville. Kudos to Nashville for picking the next Wayne Gretzky. Good job.
Who the Avs almost certainly wouldn't have taken with that pick, given the circumstance. So even in
It
this
does-
fantasy world that I'm making up.
It does seem unlikely they would have taken the next Wayne Gretzky in the 5th round. You're right.
With all the 7th round picks they like to assume.
Yeah. Well, and they're gonna take. They would have taken a 20-year-old in like the 3rd Russian league that you'll never hear from again. Where you're just like, okay, cool, bye, Nikita Shimnikov.
They'll come over and play 2 months in the AHL and then leave, and that'll be that.
And be like,
That experiment was fun. On to the next.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking about a player who's produced really good third pairing results here for very, very cheap. But he's every third pairing defenseman in the NHL. There's a deep flaw in his game. His just happens to be that he's 5'9".
Yep.
And he sucks on a power play. Don't play him on the power play.
Your team's starting lineup may or may not be changing with Nick Blankenburg, but the price of your internet will not. Make sure you check out Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee. Look, we're having a fun little emergency pod here, but we understand there is very likely a bigger move coming in the next couple of hours to days, right?
In the next, I don't know what time it is. Let's see here, 3, 6. So in the next roughly 41 and a half hours.
I'll take your word for it that's the deadline.
Doing math on air, crazy work. No, definitely. I am, again, with it being our day off tomorrow, I fully expect to be right back at it. Definitely something bigger coming. There's not a lot of huge fish in this pond for trade deadline, but there's big enough fish out there that the Avs and they have enough assets for the Avs to be asking around enough for there to be something bigger than this out there left to make.
Yeah. This feels like when we're all said and done, it will be an extra detailed trade, and the big news is still yet to come for sure.
Yep.
So,
somebody in chat asked how many points he has. He has 21 points, including 6 goals in 49 games. He missed some time in January because of illness.
Yep. There's a solid, I don't know if I'd call it a solid track record, but over the last 2 seasons, his production has been good.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, a guy who's played both the right and the left side, so this is not like just because of his handedness doesn't mean, like, if they got a left-handed guy, you're not immediately going, well, now they don't have somebody to play the right side. This is a righty who has experience in the NHL on the left side. It's not completely throwing a blind dart there. So you're talking about a guy that has produced points efficiently this year. There's a lot to like about it, and he's going to fit very nicely into the Avs style. I'm not, again, I don't want to sit here and try and convince anybody that they got the next Devon Taves or anything like that. Just a solid, like, reliable.
Yep.
Avs can always use another spark plug guy.
Seriously, like a 5th round pick. Dallas paid a 2nd and a 4th for Tyler Myers to take penalties and spend a lot of time being very tall in the penalty box in the postseason in an attempt to recreate their Cody Ceci disaster of an experience last year. Like, between those 2 moves, the Avs made the much better move. But again, it also does help that the Avs aren't expecting Nick Blankenburg to play.
Right.
This is insurance. You're going to have an injury somewhere, but you're not expecting it to be, you're not expecting him to play 20 games in the postseason for you.
Yep.
Ideally, he plays 0 games for you.
Yeah.
That's where that's at. Look, it's a 7th D. Legitimately, how many better 7th Ds are there out there in the league?
Yeah, and again, how much time have we spent talking through a lot of those options. Again, I continue to go back to Simon Benoit, or Hovakanainen is another guy that you have that conversation about.
If you want to have a stylistic conversation, absolutely. But
Yeah.
are they better? That's a different conversation.
Yeah, but like the Avs weren't going to give up a second round pick for
Right.
Connor Murphy,
Right.
to just like sit there. They're not going to trade a bunch of assets for OEL to sit there. This is a 5th round pick. This might be one of the cheapest trades that we see at the deadline, but it's going to be one of the most cost efficient because this is
Look, like it's not
it's a
easy to
5th
use
round
eyes
pick.
and see. Yeah.
Like it's the Avs 5th round pick. So you're talking it's going to be a late 5th, not even an early 5th.
I just don't think there's much to worry about here. We've already gone overtime like we always do. So we'll leave this emergency pod at that. We'll be back on the emergency pod with the next trade the Avs make. So make sure you keep it here at the DNVR YouTube channel. Like and subscribe if you like it. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Emergency Pod presented by Xfinity. Xfinity, imagine that.
We all silly like the mayor.